Society calls them cold, ungrateful, selfish rebels who abandon their own blood. But Carl Jung saw something completely different. He saw people who cut off their families not as broken, but as the only ones awake in a sleeping household. In his clinical work, Jung discovered that walking away from family isn't a sign of weakness. It's often the highest form of sanity. Today I'm going to show you why the black sheep of the family is actually the symptom bearer for entire bloodlines, and why Jung believed that sometimes leaving is the only path to becoming your true self. Jung spent decades studying what he called the family unconscious. He discovered that families don't just share genetics, they share a collective shadow, a dark pool of denied truths that everyone silently agrees to ignore. Abuse gets reframed as discipline. Neglect becomes independence training. Narcissism is excused as strong personality, and anyone who dares to name these patterns out loud becomes the problem. Think of it like an unspoken contract signed before you were born. Every family has rules about what can be acknowledged and what must remain hidden. These rules aren't written down or discussed. They're transmitted through silent disapproval, changed subjects, and that particular kind of tension that fills the room when someone mentions the thing nobody talks about. The family unconscious operates like a shared delusion, and maintaining it requires everyone's participation. This is where the truth teller enters the story. The person who eventually cuts ties is usually the one who noticed everything from the beginning. They saw the alcoholic parents' rage cycles. They felt the emotional manipulation disguised as love. They recognized the golden child and scapegoat dynamics that everyone else pretended were normal. But here's what makes their position so dangerous. They didn't just notice these patterns, they absorbed them, trying desperately to fix what was fundamentally broken. These individuals often have what Jung called differentiated perception. They can read emotional atmospheres. They sense the gap between what people say and what they mean. They feel the weight of unspoken resentments hanging in the air. This isn't a superpower. It's a survival mechanism developed in an environment where reading the room correctly meant emotional or physical safety. Jung called these people the identified patient. The family points at them and says, "You're the one with problems. You're too sensitive. You're causing drama. You need therapy." And the tragic